Ag PhD full episodes and more are now available on Acres TV, the newest ag platform connecting you to fields of information. Look for us on watchacrestv.com.
During our Farm Basics time today, we're going to talk a little about burning residue in fields and burning ditches.
Now, we're talking about intentional burning here, not the accidental, that a lightning strike happens and all of a sudden there's a burnt area out in the field or something like that, because those things do happen. But we're talking about, why would somebody intentionally burn? Let's start with the crop residue out in the field.
Yeah, it's basically just to make the ground more black, not have the residue there, so then in the spring that ground's going to warm up a lot faster. So that's the main reason why somebody might do it in a field.
Well, occasionally too, there's big winds that move a lot of crop residue and pile it all up along a fence line, or a flood that washes things up. Those kinds of situations are tough, because if that residue is a couple feet thick, there's no way you're going to run a planter through there. There's no way you're going to be able to do tillage through there. You have to physically remove it, or you have to burn it, and obviously burning it is a whole lot easier.
All right, in terms of ditches, what a lot of people will do is they'll burn these ditches in the fall so they don't have so much snow catch in that ditch and more things just move past. So especially fence lines and ditches, they want those things way down to almost nothing. But the other thing is, and I've always kind of found this interesting too, when you burn off that top growth and just all the residue that might have been down there in that ditch, the next spring, you have nice grass growth there, and the ditch actually looks really good in a lot of cases.
A lot of times that grass gets thicker because it doesn't have all the dead plant residue from last year in the way. And that's pretty good, because many of these grasses are perennials. If they can get up and get started earlier, it can choke out weeds, so you don't have all the weeds popping up in the ditch. And a lot of farmers like that. Also, if you've ever had a weed problem, or maybe you've got some old bushes or something that dropped a bunch of branches, or there's a dead old tree out there, if they burn all that away, it just allows all that fresh grass to grow next spring much better.
The downside is, obviously, you have to be careful that that fire doesn't spread to somewhere else. But for me as a farmer, I'm always looking at, how do I get as many nutrients into my next crop for as little money as possible? Well, when you burn residue, most of the nitrogen goes up in the air, and a fair amount, it's something like 30-40% of the phosphorus and potassium also can just go up in the air. So that's not real good.
No, we don't want to burn. It's generally a last resort if anyone's burning out in a field. In the ditches, though, it may be by choice. It may be every year. We see a lot of farmers that'll say, you know what, I'm going to burn the ditch that's close by my house so I can get out to the paved road each year without that gravel road filling in. Or I'm going to burn this ditch this year, I'm going to burn the next one the next year, and try and get really good grass growth coming. So it could be a planned approach. It also could be just like you were talking about for snow, Brian, just so we can hopefully keep these roads clean through the winter, so it's a little easier for us and safer to travel.
All right, so once again, when it comes to burning ditches and burning residue out in fields, yes, there is a purpose most of the time, but we just encourage farmers, especially out in the field, to not burn unless they absolutely have to, because they lose quite a few nutrients when they do that.
Well, we'll give you some ideas on how to stop our weed of the week, so you definitely don't have to burn because of this particular weed, coming up later in the show.